There are 3 participants in the conference. Please announce yourself.
No, I would be happy to work with you, Emily. I have no issue with that at all. If you want to be the main person, if I can somehow be your support person, it's fine.
Well, I mean, in a way, it doesn't matter because the tweets aren't going through the chat box or the presentation. So, I mean, it's really just whatever tweets you put out are just your opinions. You know what I mean? But I'm just saying, if you really want to work together, if you really want to be professional, then I recommend that you know, do the things that I recommended.
I wrote them down.
Have some backup links and websites, and you know, like I'll do, you know, for example, my favorite one is this Sierra Club fact sheet. One of the first ones that they put out about how the permits are, you know, they don't even have to have their checks and balances in place for the permits anymore. I mean, it's just the scariest one sheet I've ever read in my life. And if you, you know, it's just, I think it really spurs people to action once they've read it. So I like to have a couple of my favorite links and information, you know, my favorite websites for information, like expose the TPP.org and like the LNG one fact sheet, and, you know, a couple of things that I always have in my back pocket so that I can always just kind of copy and paste it really quick in a tweet. And then, you know, you're always, I mean, you're kind of talking about the same things all the time, right? I mean, you can have like one about ISDS, you can have one about the environment, you know what I mean? Just like a couple of your favorites. Yeah, and then try to put in, you know, always the call to action hashtag, which used to be Stop Fast Track, but now it's hashtag Stop TPP. There's that hashtag that is very popular with some of the activists. It's worse than we thought, and it's very long, and it's kind of to me, it's too much of an insider hashtag. You really have to be one of the cool kid activists to have even seen it or know what it is. So you're really not going to be educating new people too much. Maybe you can, maybe not. But it just takes a big chunk of the tweet to use that big, heavy hashtag. So I try to use hashtags that have a shot of, you know, connecting with new people. For example, hashtag 1U, hashtag P2. You know, with it the health, TPP health tweet. You can always put in, you know, AARP or, you know, kids cancer, AIDS. You know what I mean? So that you're kind of always thinking of broadcasting this to a larger group of people that care about that, you know, one subject, and might be clicking around. Oh, what are people saying about the AARP today? And they say TPP. Oh, wow, what's this? Right? And then you have new people reading the tweet. So, yeah, that's just a quickie on hashtags. Not to hashtag everything like, you know, trade. That's a very general term. If you go into Twitter and search hashtag trade, you're going to see every 3 seconds a new tweet coming through with trade, and of course your tweet will be lost then. So you kind of want to keep an eye on hashtags that are popular, that new people can find your tweet, but that aren't in rotation as heavily as like less than once an hour, because then no one's going to see your tweet. They're going to have to scroll down like, you know, 25.
How many? What you said rather quickly, and I didn't get it. What are 2 of the better ones, more commonly used?
Well, you can just go to my storm tweets. I think, unfortunately, when the PD America website had moved, they had a new hosting. I think it was GoDaddy, and GoDaddy had deleted the entire website before a certain date. And so I used to have all of the storm tweets had that wonderful archive, and you could just go back and read, you know, what our partner articles were from, like, you know, 4 or 5 months ago, and they were fascinating, right? You could really bone up on what's the TPP, what's going on, just from reading storm tweets for like the last 4 or 5 months. But unfortunately, GoDaddy deleted everything, and so now
that sucks.
I know, it totally sucks. So now we just have the most recent storm up, which is the one in December, which was an environment storm. But there's still a lot of good information there, though. Yeah, it was the Paris, the CO. Yeah, COP20, whatever it was.
COP21.
Is it possible that you can get that at archive.org?
Andrea has it. Yeah, she asked me, do I think we should put it back up? And I just thought it was a lot of work for her, and I just didn't want to put her through that. But if people find it useful, I mean, I can ask her to do that because she asked me, but I just didn't.
Might be worth it.
I mean, everybody does so much work. I just really felt bad.
Oh, I
but I can ask her.
Yeah, it's probably worth it. I mean, I don't know. Maybe there's a way to. I don't know. If we did it, we probably should make sure to promote it so people. It's not just work that's not going to any effort, to any end. But I think if it was, it might be worth doing. But yeah, I think that's. But I mean, I guess the two of you can continue to connect about doing this. And I mean, Emily Ann, if you want to talk to Celeste and see if she could work with you.
She would totally. She said she just did it on the fly. And Celeste would be faster than me even because Celeste is a TPP expert, whereas I've been writing the tweets for 3 years, but I still do. I'm always afraid of saying the wrong thing, and I'm constantly Googling to prove myself because that's one thing I have never put out incorrect information, never, because that'll come right back on you, and your credibility goes right out the window. So I always double, triple check by Googling, but Celeste doesn't have to do that. She just writes something, and she already has an article, right? And she just puts the article in there. And I mean, she asked to write tweets for our storm on Tuesday, which I was really happy about because I love her tweets. They're great. So, I mean, Celeste is the best. She's fast and accurate and has current information.
She's amazing. I don't really.
Well, isn't Lori Wallach is supposed to be making tweets up on Tuesday night too? And I was going to go follow her and retweet her stuff.
That's what that's a lot of what we're going to recommend to people to do. And Emily, and you're also going to be preparing some in addition to Lori's, right?
Right. That's one of the slides that I'm making. So
great.
So that people can just.
What's the strategy for people to? Are you gonna pull Lori's tweets into a page or something, or are we just going to tell people to go to Lori's Twitter and just retweet them directly from there? I think that's what you were saying, the latter, right?
Me personally, what I'm going to do?
I mean, in terms of how we're going to recommend people to do it, is the idea that they go to your page and then pull tweets, and then also go to Lori's, or
the easiest thing? No, I recommend just going to TPP Media March because I'll already have the tweet from Lori there.
So you're going to copy Lori's tweets into there?
I'm used to working on like 3 or 4 screens at once. I'm used to running tweet chats. I'm used to hosting tweet chats. I don't know if you've ever hosted a tweet chat, but that's fast and furious. That's fast, and I've hosted them on the TPP. I mean, that's fast and furious. People tweeting in real time, asking questions, and you're answering them, and you also have your 10 tweets that you already did before the party that you have them scheduled to go out at different times. You've got those going out. You've got people asking you questions and answering those questions that you just put out.
I've never done anything like that.
Well, I have. So for me, to have
that's not going to be me
going,
either.
Yeah, but I have my storm going, and then just to follow Lori, I mean, piece of cake. That's easy.
Okay. So what you'll do is you'll have your storm, and as Lori tweets, you'll pull them into the page and add them into the page in real time. Is that how it works?
Well, my storm is pre-scheduled in the tweet deck, so I'm not even. It's on rote. I mean, I don't even. Okay. I'm not even present during the storm.
So then let me make sure I understand you correctly. So you're saying instead of going to the TDA page for the tweets, people should be getting your tweets directly from Twitter because you'll be adding Lori's tweets.
The lazy people, the people that don't know how to tweet, and the lazy people can go directly to TPP Media March and just retweet.
Now that was not nice.
if you don't want to do anything, I know I'm talking to you guys. I'm really tired. I'm sorry. I'm exhausted.
That's okay. I think it's kind of funny, and I'm not.
So I mean, come on, we're compatriot friendly here, right? I mean, that's the lazy way to do it. If you don't like Twitter, if you want to participate, if you don't want to deal with anything, just go to TPP Media March and retweet everything. You can retweet.
Great, and you'll have your tweets and Lori's tweets in there both, so they don't never even have to look at Lori's. They just go to yours and look at both. They don't have to. Not if they don't want to. They can if they want to, but But they don't need to because Lori's tweets will be in yours, right?
I always support Lori, though. Yes, I always retweet her during the during the presidential
speeches. Great.
This is the first time that we've done this. I worked very closely with her and her team during Stop Fast Track. So, I mean, they were writing the storm tweets with me during Stop Fast Track, and that was like 8 months we worked together. And so
wonderful.
This isn't the first time that Lori has tweeted during Obama's speech. You know, she's done that before.
No, I remember that she's done it before.
Yeah, so I mean, I always retweet her, and Alyssa too, you know, and, you know, I'm also looking for what other tweets are up there, you know, I mean, Fight for the Future. Evan does some great tweets, commentary.
Right.
Evan does great commentary, so, you know, I'll retweet him, and, you know, so I'm like pulling up searches for hashtags to see what other people are tweeting. I've also got my eye on, you know, on the people that I want to keep my eye on, like Alyssa, Lori, Evan, you know what I mean? So I got a lot going on. I've got like a bunch of screens open doing it.
Right.
Plus I have the storm tweets are pre-programmed, so my storm is I'm done with that. I'm not typing in my storm during the storm. You know, it's already in the tweet deck. So, and Lorna, that's a really good tip. If you want to use TweetDeck and do it space out the storm tweets a minute apart, then you don't even have to be present during the storm. I mean, if you want to. I mean, sometimes people ask me questions during the storm, or there'll be comments, you know, and it's always nice to make new friends, and then you can have bigger accounts follow you. But I mean, at this point, I mean, I'm just, you know, really burnt out from 3 years of doing the TPP March, and I'm not even online during the storms anymore. They're just going off from TweetDeck. So.
Ooh, guess what I forgot? Because we started the call so informally, I never started the recording for this call. That's really unfortunate. A lot of good stuff has been said. Let me start it now so at least we catch the rest of this. This is a real shame. Hold on a second.
Yeah, I don't know how the deck works, and you know what? I'm no expert at this, and I'm going to take the easy way out because I really don't feel qualified to do anything complicated.
What the heck?
So,
I see what.
I'll just go to you, and if I want to find you, Emily Ann, I go to TPP Media March.
That's correct, and then you can just retweet. Yeah, you don't even have to.
The recording has started.
Yeah, you
Hi,
know
everyone.
What I think? I'll just retweet.
You guys can give me one moment.
Give me one moment.
So for those of you who are listening on recording, our apologies. We started the recording late tonight. This is the National TPP Team Outreach and Promotion Committee meeting. We're having this is a follow-up Part 2 meeting to the meeting we held on Wednesday, and we're meeting today to talk about the State of the Union address, national conference call on Sunday, and the State of the Union itself. So far on the call, we've covered doing phone outreach in preparation for the Sunday call, Sunday the 10th. By the way, today is Friday, January 8th, and what we're talking about right now is, first we're talking about live tweeting the Sunday calls, and Lorna Paisley and Emily Ann Sladen are discussing live tweeting the calls, and now we're talking about doing the Twitter storm that's going to be taking place on Tuesday during the State of the Union address, Tuesday the 12th. And so that's where we're at right now, and Emily Ann was giving some great input into effective tweeting and was talking about the technique by which she is going to be able to both put out the Twitter storm tweets and then in addition retweet tweets from Lori Wallach, answer questions from other people, etc. And so she mentioned that the tweets will be the TPP Twitter storm tweets will be loaded in advance for TweetDeck, and then other tweets will be retweeted and added in real time. So apologies that we're just catching everyone up now, and apologies to people on the call for the interruption, but we can now go on with the call. Sorry about that.
So Sunday's presentations are going to be on globalization, so should we, I don't know. You know what, if I make phone calls Saturday, I don't know if I'm going to have time to investigate globalization for tweets, so maybe I'll just depend on Emily Ann if she has some, or for Sunday's call. I mean, versus doing research. I don't know if I have time to do research. I don't think so. I think that's not
right. I mean, the presentations Sunday mainly Sunday is an organizing call. This is not. I mean, there's going to be a little bit of just talking about like what are the key talking points we need to get to our elected officials. That's going to be part of it, but a lot of it is going to be a lot of it's going to be focused on what are the steps that activists need to take in advance of and subsequent to the State of the Union address. So there will be some information, like this is what we expect Obama to say, this is our response, but this is not going to be as much of a informational presentation call. It's really more of an activist organizing call.
Okay, all right. And this is the people demanding action call, right?
That's right.
Okay, just making sure. Okay.
Well, it's not. I mean, technically, no. It's the national TPP team call, but people demanding action is part of the national TPP team.
Okay, all right.
So,
okay.
But this is a call that when you get on the sign-up page says people demanding action, which gives the impression that it is a PDA call or people demanding action call. But yeah, I mean, there will be information because like Michael Stuma is going to be talking. I mean, in terms of because Michael Stuma is going to be telling us the key talking points of the Republicans. Arthur Stimulus is going to be telling us how we, try to counter Obama's spin. But it's going to much more than a lot of our calls. It's going to be really focused on action points.
Okay. All right. Got it.
So, but I apologize for having interrupted because the conversation between the two before. So I will shut up and let you get back to where you were.
This is Carrie.
Well, I'm just going to go to Emily Ann's place and see what I can see there too. So,
Lorna, I can help you. Lorna, I can help you with this tweet deck if you want. If you want to learn, it's just so easy. You just copy and paste the tweets, and I can show you. It takes you like 5 minutes. Seriously, it'd be so easy. And then you don't even have to worry about. You can have like the tweets already pre-scheduled. It's just a lot easier.
But if they're supposed to refer to Sunday's phone call, and we don't know for sure what Sunday's phone call is going to be.
I'm just talking about like during.
On Tuesday. Any other time?
Yeah, on Tuesday.
Okay, yeah. You know what? I think I maybe have your phone number somewhere. Do I? You've talked to me a couple of times trying to help me when I first started tweeting a little bit, and so I could call you or something, and you could help me a little bit. Okay.
One thing that you could do in terms of some tweets that you could write in advance, we can if you want to ask. Here's a little bit of a way you can get an advanced cheat. You can ask Harriet when the PowerPoint is done to forward you the PowerPoint, and then you could use the PowerPoint to compose tweets. And then, I mean, obviously there'll be more to add based on what people are saying, but with the PowerPoint, I mean, you'll actually have people's bullets right there. So you can convert some of the bullets into tweets. And you'll also have the bios and things like that. So that might be a way to go ahead. It might be a way to do that. So I can ask, do you know how to get in touch with Harriet?
I think I have her, I'm pretty sure I have her email address.
Okay, well, if you
I
have
would
any trouble
almost
reaching
have
her,
it. Wouldn't I have it if I've been on these calls? Because she sends out a lot of announcements telling us.
You should be, if you haven't tried, email her and CC me, so we'll make sure it gets. I'll be able to know it got to the right place. And if you have any trouble connecting with her, I will put you in touch. But that would probably make it. And Emily, do you want her to? I mean, you get the PowerPoint anyway, right? But do you want to? Do you want me to? Do you want to be in? I'm just thinking that might be a really easy way to do a bunch of tweets in advance.
That's
but
what I
do you want to be?
In my email. That was what I had said in my email. I said, that was the easiest way to do it would be to take a look at the speakers, at their slides, and if you could get kind of a leg up on any articles that they've written or websites or, just a little bit of Googling before. It's a lot of work, though. I mean, because you're trying to include all of the information in the tweet, for new people to understand and learn. So,
and eventually we should be having that go out from an official account for the team, probably when or for the whatever name we're going to end up calling the coalition. But rather just from an individual. But for right now, I think just having at least someone do it is good. But I apologize then for repeating your idea, Emily, and I hadn't caught that. I didn't mean to do this on the phone, but it's just but I mean, if maybe Lorna, when you send that email, if you could CC me and Emily Ann, that'd be great, and we could just let Harriet know that it'd be good to make sure that the that you and Emily Ann get the PowerPoint so that you can write tweets from it.
Okay.
Great.
Well, Emily Ann, as long as you're on the phone, do you want to give me your phone number? Then I don't have to probably track it down.
Not on the recording.
Not on the recording.
Oh, okay. I'll look, and I should have it someplace, I said. If I don't, I can email you, right?
Yes.
Okay, that's fine. Okay, all right. Okay.
And Emily Ann, if you need Lorna's info, I know, Lorna, you were having trouble accessing the spreadsheet, but Emily Ann, you should be able to access the Google Drive spreadsheet. There's a folder there called National TPP Team, and in there's a document, I forgot what the title is, so it's basically a contact list for both of our two working groups. So you can find Lorna's contact info in there.
Yeah, I had to take Google Drive off my laptop because it was interfering with Safari. So
oh wow!
I haven't put it back on yet because it just makes problems for me. If I'm in Photoshop, I have a lot of graphic problems with this one. Yeah, with.
Can you access it?
Go ahead. No, go ahead.
I was going to say, can you access it via the web? I mean, rather than through the downloaded version, just log into it through a browser?
I'm not sure. I don't know. I can try it.
Yeah, because, I mean, usually when I use Google Docs, I just use it directly through browser rather than through the Google Docs app or whatever, through the downloaded version. That doesn't work when you're offline, but when you're online, you can do that at least, usually. You just go to drive.google.com. But I mean, not that you necessarily need to. I was just saying if you want to find Lorna's info, that's one way you could do it. But,
yeah, well, yeah, that's fine.
I can also, what I can also do is right before we end the call, I could stop the recording if you want to exchange information. So that's easy enough to do.
Sure.
Great.
Sure. I mean, I don't know. Whatever is fine with me. I don't care.
Okay.
Hey, hello, this is Carrie. Can I interrupt? Just say
Carrie.
hi. I've been here for 20 minutes. Hi.
Oh, we haven't completed. Yeah, we heard some rustling or some person yelling something before, but and I heard a chime before, and I said, "Is anyone here?" And no one answered. Or it seemed like no one answered, so I apologize for that.
Hi. Sorry I'm late.
Hi, Carrie.
Sorry we missed you.
I'll help you tweet too, Emily Ann. Good job last week,
great.
Lorna. And I know everybody hates the Google Doc, but Lorna, I went through before we get off Twitter quick, I went through most of the pile of Twitter addresses you gave and sorted them out in a new tab on that Google Doc that we've been working on. So, and honestly, there was only like 3 of them that were no good anymore. They're not tweeting or the account is gone. And the rest of them I put up there, so you can check that out if you like. That's all. Check.
Okay. Well, I'll have to I'll have to look at what email address is there and see if I can get in again to the Google Docs.
Carrie, I have something I need to ask you, which is that there were a couple people, and this is entirely my fault, but because of the fact that the registration links for the calls go up kind of late, and because the links are and they tend to be really long, I set up a separate registration form that I could use for advanced registration for future calls. And there were a few people who signed up through that who I didn't catch before the last call. And the upshot is they did not get the info on the call in time for the call. So first of all, I'm going to obviously send them the info so they get it for this call. But second of all, I want to be able to send them the video from the last call so that they can see what they missed, ideally before this call. So if you would be able to send, even if we're, I don't know if we want to make that public yet or not because of everything that we've talked about with Chatbox, but if you could even just send me a private link for the video from the last, a YouTube video from the last call, that would be super helpful so I could share it to those people.
Well, guess what? You know that global TPP team that you love? That I have not yet asked about permissions on yet or anything, because to be honest with you, I'm still trying to figure out group dynamics and who does what without pissing anybody off. And I got enough to keep me busy without pissing anybody off. But in that global TPP team group, I started a new document that I was trying to use to help get me ready to do the archives. First of all, I just needed a list of all the dates and all that. But anyway, to answer your question quick, that recording from last week's call is on that document. And they're in chronological order from most recent to the oldest. And not only do we have the link to the PowerPoint, the official audio, and the YouTube, I made 2 short videos that are hosted from Auntie's Facebook account, and the links to those are on there too. So my hope is archives is one thing, but at least from here on out, it'll be a lot easier to keep up than catch up. So as we have calls, I'm happy, and that's the great thing about that document too, is it's shared as long as you're in that group on Facebook. Anybody can edit it. So if I screw up a link or anything, you can fix it. It'll be awesome. So that would be the quickest, easiest way, is go to the Global TPP team group and go search the files and then document, and it should be there.
Great. And does that video contain the chat box, or it doesn't contain the chat box?
That one does. Oh, and I'm glad you brought that up. It does, and I'll tell you what, though, I'm sad because the video quality is not awesome. You can read it. It's okay, but it's pretty muddled. And I am going to try and look at my bit rates and whatnot and see if I can fix that so it looks better for the next ones. I uploaded it in HD even, and it looks like a potato.
That's a shame. Oh, well, I mean, I can tell people that if they want to look at, I mean, at least if they have that, I mean, if they want to look at the slides, they at least have a template for what comes when. So,
you sure can. Yep, and if you have the link to the actual chat, you could easily line it up and figure out, because like Auntie writes in green, and you can see enough. But I wasn't happy with the quality. I'm sorry, go ahead.
We'll get better. I was going to say the chat record that Andrea sends out is edited, so it's not going to line up perfectly. But people can get the general idea.
Yep, it's in there. Yeah, so the very first file is called Link List for National TPP Team Calls. And that should be a list of every link to everything we've ever done eventually. It's pretty fleshed out. If you go look at it now, you can see a lot of the links. But like, I tell you what, that was the thing too. You have to scroll for 2 years to find all that stuff. And there's no title. So that actually was a suggestion I had, and maybe I need to tell Tom that when he posts the link to last night's audio, it would be really, really awesome if he put the title of the call with it too. Otherwise, there's nothing to search. Otherwise you're just randomly clicking links, hoping, You know what I mean. Never mind.
The way that I finally had to do it was I did web search. The way that, like, if I have to find an old call, what I have to do is go to Google, do a web search for the title, see what date it is, and then cross-reference the list. I completely agree with you. Part of the reason why I wanted to start a website was because trying to go through the files to find stuff is such a task. But you're right. I mean, even with the current structure, just by better file titling, we could at least address that a little bit.
Yeah.
Emily, were you trying to say something?
I'm sorry. What?
Emily, did you have a question? I thought you were speaking.
Lorna has a question.
Oh, Lorna has a question. Lorna.
Yeah, all these things, Carrie, where is all this posted? Is it posted on the Facebook page?
If you go to Facebook, search Global TPP Team. It's a group. And then whether you're a member or not, it's a public group. So you should be able, once you find that, at the very top, underneath the picture that's the cover, there it should say discussion, members, and then file.
I can probably find that out for you. But it's Global TPP, what again?
Team. Global TPP Team.
But that's not the Facebook page that was
that is a
ago?
Facebook group, yeah.
Oh, it is a Facebook group. I was thinking I'm probably going to download Firefox and try to become a part of that Facebook page like you recommended.
the individual page and the group are two different things.
They are, okay.
Yeah, when we talk about this is a little confusing because they're on just use the proper terms. In Facebook, there's three different things. So there's a lot of different things, but three of the different things that are on Facebook is a profile, which is an individual or an individual page, which is like Adam Weissman. This is my profile. This is my page. That's an individual page. Then you have groups, which are designed to be interactive and have members. And then you have pages, or which are also called fan pages, which are when businesses or famous individuals or books have a page for people who are fans of their whatever they are to like them and then follow messages that are sent over them. The Global TPP team is a group. Anti-TPP, spelled ANTETEAPIP, is a profile or individual page, but we're using it as a group account. So that we can work collectively to post different content, because groups and pages are very limited in what they can post anywhere but on their own space, whereas individuals can post really anywhere they want. But Facebook discourages organizations from having anything other than they discourage any kind of collective profile. So anti-TPP is sort of a sneaky way to have a collective profile, even though we're not supposed to. What we don't have is a page. Like we don't have the national TV team doesn't have a page. Maybe we should, but we don't have a page. But we do have a profile in the form of anti-TPP and a group in the form of global TPP team. Does that clarify?
I think. Hopefully. Enough that I think I can deal with.
Great. Does that jive with everyone else's did I just describe accurately to everyone else's liking or setup? Does that sound right to everyone?
Yep.
Mm-hmm. Okay, great.
Okay.
So, so look to join. So you can sign up if you want to sign up for both of those things, to be one of the account users for anti-TPP and a member of Global TPP team, it's great to be both. In fact, it's pretty important to be both.
Okay. Well, I have to keep in mind here that I'm supposed to be getting a rally ready for Los Angeles, too, so I have to watch out how much stuff I volunteer for here is all.
Right, okay. Right. Well, by signing up to them, you're not necessarily volunteering for anything. It just means you have the access. What you do is up to you.
Yeah. Okay.
But
got it. Okay. All right.
So, Terry, I imagine you have your hands full with some of the Facebook outreach this weekend to get the word out about this call. Am I right?
Yeah, that's the plan. Is just keep pushing it
great.
all weekend long through Anti mostly.
And I will help with that.
Awesome.
By the way, I think I went ahead and set up the PostCon account for anti-TPP. Have you had a chance to access it?
The what account?
The PostCon. I mentioned PostCon is a service that lets you. So PostCon is great. PostCon is a tool that lets you post simultaneously to 10 different, in the free version, to 10 different social media profiles at a time. So you can you can schedule a post, and then it'll post to your face. You can have it post to a Facebook page, to Facebook pages, Facebook groups, Facebook individual profiles, Twitter profiles, LinkedIn pages. I think Google Plus. I'm not sure. And then you can. And so so I have PostCon set up on each of my different 5 Facebook accounts. So basically, I can in 5 clicks send content out to 50 different social media whatever. You can post to any through PostCon. You can post to any group or page on Facebook that you're an owner of. So one of the things that Carrie and I've been talking about is trying to get people to for everyone else to know. Carrie and I've been talking trying to get as many different people to make anti-TPP an administrator of or an owner of their various Facebook groups and pages about TPP, so that we have posting privileges for them through PostCon. So so I started the PostCon for anti-TPP, I believe. So if you want to use that and for that, and then maybe set one up for your own account as well, it could at least for it won't be much, but at least for 10 groups, it will help make things a little easier. You set up your posts and then go from there. And then if we choose, PostCron also has a paid version that lets you post to more profiles. So, and they're offering free 1-month trials of some of the paid versions. So we could potentially up the number of profiles that we can post to that way. And the other thing that's nice about it, and this is something that is in the same way that with I'm talking about with TweetDeck, you can pre-schedule your tweets. With PostCron, you can pre-schedule your messages to a whole range, all your social, to all your social media, to all your social media profiles. So we could potentially not only live tweet, but we could also live Facebook. We could live a lot of things if we're doing pre-scheduled messages. So.
Yes. Okay, I know what you're talking about now. And I
Great.
did see posts go up last week that you had scheduled through Auntie for the pages. I made Auntie. See, it would be awesome if more people could do that. If you are the owner of a page, please ask your people if we can add Auntie. So I think we've added Auntie to 3 now. And just so you know, Adam, I don't know if you went back and checked any of those posts, but there was some gobbledygook at the beginning of it. So we need to figure out what that was. It looks like it was a missing field, or there was a colon where there shouldn't be or something. But it was still totally readable and totally usable. But every single post had at the beginning of it a little bit of...
Was it a link possibly? Or
I want to say it was like open bracket, home, close bracket, colon, something. Like something was supposed to go in those brackets.
You know what that might have been? I'm not sure. That might have been that was pulling. Yeah, that might have been that was pulling from. I think what happened was that PostCron was pulling. I was from Mailchimp, and Mailchimp was displaying, and I have to figure out how to get Mailchimp not to do this. Was displaying its personalization field, but without actually It was using a sort of like generic personalization, the generic version of its personalization field.
Yeah.
So, Mailchimp. Does everyone know what Mailchimp is, or should I explain Mailchimp? I should probably explain Mailchimp. Mailchimp is it's basically a mass mailer where you can load in your list of emails and then send emails to thousands of different people on various saved lists. And it also has social cards that allow you to post to social media. So for example, when I do send stuff to our trade justice list, I also I do that through our main trade justice activist contact list. I do that through Mailchimp, and then I also check off the box for every Facebook page I'm an owner of, and check off a box for Twitter. So it posts, it emails like, our list of however many people, plus it posts to like about 17 pages and also to our Twitter all at once. So I think that's what happened is PostCron was reposting the Mailchimp. So I have to look into Mailchimp this weekend to figure out how not to have that happen again, because the Mailchimp, the Mailchimp announcement itself is a nice looking announcement that the benefit of sending that instead of just sending the direct link to the event page is I can send out not just the current event, but also other upcoming events and other upcoming calls on the same announcement. So anyway, I'll work on that to make sure that doesn't happen again.
Pardon me. How do you spell that word that you're saying?
Okay, so there's a couple words that I've said. The first is PostCron, which is POST. I think it's either CRON or CHRON. It's one of the two. .com. And the second one is Mailchimp, as in like chimpanzee, MAILCHIMP.
Is it something?
What's that? .com.
Is it .com? Okay.
Yeah, they're both .com.
Okay. All right. I just want to make sure. I'm not hearing on my phone so good tonight. And Auntie, I can't remember. I know it's someplace. So maybe look. How did you decide to spell Auntie TPP for the Facebook page? ANTEA, or I forgot.
ANTE.
ANTE, just ANTE. Okay. All right.
Right. And
Got
then
it.
TPP is T like the stuff you drink, and PIPI.
Oh, okay. T.
And
Yeah,
Emily Ann just accepted our friend request. Hi, Emily. So that's
Hey.
another thing you could do is go to Emily Ann's page and look at her friends and find me there.
Yeah. The reason anti-TPP is spelled in that silly way, that's not us trying to be cute. It's because Facebook, if they suspect that your page, if you suspect that your profile is actually an organizational profile rather than a personal profile, they will forcibly convert it to a page. So
I remember I was on
no
call. I was on the call today, and then why you explained it, I just couldn't remember how you spelled it, and I just wanted to have it handy here. So.
Okay. Hey, there was someone else who was on, sounded like they were on the call at the very beginning, and I think blurted something about Bernie Sanders. If you're on the call still and have just been here all this time, if you want to tell us who you are and if you have something you want to say or any question, we'd be happy to talk to you, but we haven't heard from you since, so we didn't know what to say or do about that. So speak now. Okay, I guess not. So is there other stuff we need to cover, or Carrie, did you want to talk more about the Facebooking for the weekend, or?
Sorry, I had a kid here. I'm good.
No
I'm all good. Here to help. Whatever y'all need.
Great. Oh,
the Google Doc
one other thing I
is
wanted to
in
mention.
good shape. Actually, can I just mention that one thing?
Yes.
Because I made a new tab, and I didn't want to freak anybody out. So your old list is still there, and I didn't change the name. It's still called Facebook Groups New. But I copied and pasted the whole thing and sorted it into a new tab, which is called New Facebook Groups. And we have about 220 or so groups that are almost all specifically TPP-related groups.
Marvelous.
It's a great lead list for a place to go drop off posts and invite people to the call and interact with the group. And then in the third column, there's the name and then the link. And then in the third column, I tried to put every time Auntie joins a group, that's what the A means.
I lost you for a second there. Can you say that again?
On the third column of the Google Doc group, there's a description of the group and an A at the beginning. If there's an A there, that means Auntie is either requested to join or is in the group. So those are groups Auntie can post in. I just wanted to explain that. And then I added a list because I heard it mentioned a couple times on a couple different calls about right-wing people that oppose TPP. There's a ton of them. Mm-hmm. So I started a short list there. It's not in any way comprehensive, but if you want to get your head around the kind of people, we're talking Sarah Palin, Jim Tate, Carly Fiorina, Ted Cruz, Rand Paul, and then there's a list of a dozen or so Facebook pages with the links so you can go check out what they say. But anybody that uses the term Obama trade, that's a Republican term. And I know that we use it too because I search it and I see this person and that regular person using it, and it's important that everybody knows what they're saying when they say it. And Obama trade is a Libertarian term, and I can point you to the link that first said it. So anyway, there you go. There's a Facebook page called Obama Trade. Go look at it. Tell me that that's a center thing. It's not.
Oh, well, that's a product of the American Jobs Alliance, which is very much trying to mobilize the right. I mean, that's absolutely their strategy. I personally have no problem with the term, though I know other people I've talked to don't like it because they feel like it puts too much emphasis on the particular president in office rather than the ongoing nature of this policy across administrations and parties.
You may as well call it nigger trade, to be honest with you. We should not use that term on the left. I am deadly fucking serious. It's a very offensive thing. Their main reason for hating the TPP is that they hate Obama.
I think that's
Absolutely
partly true.
period.
I think it's also true that a lot of there's a there's a segment of the right that has a long-standing opposition to free trade on ideological grounds, and that sentiment is a part of the is definitely a part of the opposition. Is that the whole story? No, probably not. But there is an ideological basis to their opposition. They are genuinely concerned about ISDS as a threat to sovereignty. There is an economic isolationist aspect of the aspect of the right in the paleo-conservative right, and I don't think we can reduce some of the stuff that's coming out of them in terms of their arguments are very unsavory. You have what's it called again? Jeff Sessions, who, and a lot of people like him, pushing, trying to suggest that TPP is a self-immigration program, and all this nonsense about how TPP is pushing a radical, agenda to address climate change. So yeah, I mean, some of it is nonsense, but there's also some very substantive critiques coming out of the right that sound very similar in a lot of areas to many of the critiques that a lot of us are using, even when they're coming from people that we might want to, for many reasons, steer clear of. I mean, honestly, if you read the stuff coming out of the John Birch Society about TPP, about 80% of it sounds like it could have been written by public citizens.
They're birthers. The John Birch Society, they're birthers.
They're what?
Birthers.
Oh, they're vile. I'm not saying that we should be lining up with the John Birch Society. I'm just saying that if you look at if you look at the reasons that they're opposing TPP, they have a long, that strand of the right has a long and very consistent suspicion about globalization and about globalism and peace, and some of it is, nonsensical conspiracy stuff about, UN world government, which is just silliness. And some of it is actually rooted in some very legitimate concerns about sovereignty and jobs, and it's mixed. But I don't think it's all reducible down to Obama as the evil black man who we hate.
No, I said that the term Obama trade, that's all I said.
Okay.
I understand the right wing very, very well. And so that's why I was trying to help you out with the short list. And I just mentioned that the hashtag Obama trade is problematic if you don't know what it means. If you also tweet TCOT, then you're good. I know that you know what you're talking about, but that's all.
If you also tweet what?
TCOT. TCOT.
You
know what that means?
No.
Emily Ann?
No,
Top
I don't.
conservatives on Twitter. That's one of those shortened hashtags that she was talking about.
What's the first word?
Top, T-O-P, conservatives on Twitter. TCOT.
What does that mean?
Oh, yeah, TCOT. I'm sorry, I didn't hear you. Yeah.
That's okay, I get like that too.
What are pop conservatives?
That's a hashtag that birthers and John Birch Society puts in their tweets when they tweet the word Obama trade. That's the difference between us using that word and them using that word. And to boil it all down, my original point is you may as well call it nigger trade. That's a bad word, and we shouldn't use it. But, that's all. Check.
Anyway, I don't know that any of us are, that was something a lot of us plan on putting in anyway, but, so moving on. Did you want to talk more about the Google Doc? I think
it might be a good idea to send it out in the email again or something, because I am certain that I'm the only one in it. I've been on it every day for almost a month now, and I'm pretty sure nobody's making any changes, which is fine, but it's super tight now, so people should look at it. I spent a lot of time on it, and it's a very useful tool.
That's excellent. If you want to send a link, everyone knows how to use the Google Groups now, right? That we created for the team. Well, let me just tell you all. To send to it, you send an email to tppoutreach@googlegroups.com, and then everyone will get the message that you're sending. Emily Ann was saying that she is having trouble not seeing those messages from the group. Has everyone else been getting the group messages?
You know what? It's spammy. If you're talking, yeah, I get those, and I don't read any of them because, oh my God. Or no, is that something else? That's Harriet Haywood's TPP propaganda offensive. Every time we're on a call, I get spammed the next day with like literally dozens of, I don't know, it looks like, I'm sorry, the word's escaping me right now. But like I said last week, we don't have a lack of information on the TPP networks. We kind of have an overdose right now, and it's really hard to sort it out.
I'm not sure what the emails that you're talking about that you're getting the next day are. I don't know what that is. Let me know because I can address that. But can you tell me more about this? This wouldn't be those. This is just the internal. The only people on that list are the like 20 or so people on the promotion team. So that wouldn't be generating any flood of anything.
They're from Harriet Haywood, and they are generated by the call. This one says TPP activist tools and links to last night's call. Hello, Carrie, and Happy New Year. I hope you were able to make it to last night's TPP team call. And then there's like a group, like a Google group kind of thing, where everybody that comments on it, it emails me. And the only way to opt out is to opt out entirely and not get my call reminders. So I don't want to do that either.
Jeez, I don't know how that is.
It's pretty bad.
Yeah, I don't even know what that is. I don't.
And I just haven't. I don't have time to contact everybody individually, to fix all these problems. We just roll with it and fix it.
That's really important because I am not getting those, and I don't know who else is, but I want to make sure that we address that because I don't even know what you're describing is. Can you
Here's one. Lorna Paisley posted on TPP the Ultimate Climate Cop-Out conference call discussion. Wes Smith posted, Dan Brown posted,
that you're talking about, and I was getting those for about 2 calls, and then I stopped getting those. So I don't know what's going on with that.
Oh, really? That's even more odd.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah, that was for, at one point we were doing this thing where people signed up, and then they got added to an online message board or something, and it seems like that stopped. So or at least for me it did.
I got one at 11:48 a.m., 2:12 a.m. Yeah, it's still going. And so that's why, honestly, like a couple of weeks ago when we first started up talking about the Google Doc, I couldn't find it in the sea of these emails that I'm getting from the call.
Can you call Harriet and see if she can figure out how to fix that? It would probably ultimately be Andrea who would have to fix it, but if Harriet is the one, probably need to talk to Andrea, actually, and let her know about that. Because Andrea is really the technical administrator for the call. Well, Tom and Andrea even more so than Tom, would be the one who could help fix that, I think.
Okay.
Because if you're having that problem, other people probably are too.
I would imagine. Yeah. Okay.
Do you have Andrea's number, or can you? You can get it from the Google Doc, right?
No, I don't. You guys are very special. I don't really talk to people. I don't like to talk. It's embarrassing.
Okay. Can you email her?
Yeah, I'll email her.
Feel free to CC me on that too, and I can try to continue the conversation. But you don't need me. But if there's any problem, getting follow-up, if you CC me, I can make sure that it happens. Is all I'm saying.
Yeah. Well, I'll email Harriet for sure because her name is on all these.
Yeah,
CC both
Andrea and Harriet. That sounds fun.
Yeah.
Hey guys, I'm gonna have to get off soon. Emily, we've been on here quite a while now.
Yeah, it has been a long call. What time is it, by the way? I'm at the clock in front of me.
5:40.
7:40.
Okay. Okay. Wow. Okay. So I'm gonna then. Does anyone have any final words before we break? Because when we end, I'm gonna stop the recording so that Emily Ann and Lorna can exchange contact information. So I just want to, before I do that, does anyone have any final thoughts, or are we good to go?
I'm good. Thanks, everybody.
Okay.
Yeah, I don't have anything.
Okay.
Maybe later. Nothing now.
What did you say it again?
I said maybe later, nothing now.
Okay, great. Okay, well, I will, I'm going to stop. Thank you, everyone, for participating. I know this is now 2 calls in 1 week, and actually, since the last one was Saturday before that, this is like 3 calls in a week, I guess. So thank you for your dedication and being on so many calls, and for doing all the work that's coming out of them. I'm going to stop the recording then, and we can speak freely. And so thanks so much. So stopping the recording right now. Thank you for those of you who listened. Hope you've enjoyed us for a future call.